Gentlemen, welcome to Korea. I know you guys had a pleasant flight this morning. For the benefit of our viewers, maybe we could spend a few minutes just introducing yourselves. Maybe start with you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tok Hong. I'm a partner with PwC Singapore. I'm the M&A and private equity leader.
Good afternoon, Steve. My name is Girish. I'm a partner with PwC Singapore and I lead the investment banking team.
Thank you. I think our audience now understands what the purpose of this meeting is. M&A head, investment banking head. So it's to talk about M&A activity in Southeast Asia and Singapore. In the recent month, we have seen significant transactions taking place in Singapore between Southeast Asian companies and Korean companies. And I just wanted to touch on that basis and just to understand a bit more and to share with our audience what is the landscape of M&A in Southeast Asia. Takang, maybe just give us a brief overview of how Southeast Asia M&A market sort of operates and sort of an overview of the market.
Yeah. Southeast Asia as a group of countries, we are about 600 to 700 million people, making up of 5 to 6 countries with good growth potential, with a rising middle class. Especially as we get out of this crisis, growth will continue and perhaps even accelerate. So it's a golden opportunities for companies to tap into the growth of Southeast Asia. And we're happy today to talk to the Korean audience about opportunities in Southeast Asia.
So if we look at Southeast Asia, but if we drill down specifically into Singapore, Girish, maybe this question is for you, is what type of M&A activities do we see in Singapore? What's very common there?
So the M&A market in Singapore has been quite active in the recent past. Certainly last year, 2021, was the most active M&A market we've seen in many, many years. Of around 200 to 300 deals that happen in Singapore on an annual basis, close to 60% is driven by private equity buyers and the balance is corporate. So either international corporates or regional corporates that are looking to acquire businesses.
So with those transactions that you've seen, what specific sectors do they transact in? Is there commonalities or trends or themes there?
So in the recent few years, we've seen consumer as a big driver for transactions, given the growth in the regional economies and population across Southeast Asia, followed by manufacturing, again, as companies look to diversify their manufacturing base and establish presence in the markets like Malaysia, Vietnam and Philippines, Thailand. That's another important sector. Business services is a growing trend as well, as we've seen recently companies being sold to Korean buyers in that space.
So if we look at M&A transactions, there's always the buy, opportunities and sell opportunities. If we look at sell opportunities, do you see a lot of corporates divesting non-core operations or private equities, divesting, their portfolio companies? Takang, what have you seen?
Private equities have been very active in the last 10 years. So one of the value add of the private equity owned businesses is generally improvement in professional management team, improvement in governance. So most of the private equity owned businesses would have good governance and they give the foreign investors a good platform to acquire. That's one. And many corporates, as they go out of this crisis, will look to transform their business. Some will look to divest their non-core businesses. Some will be looking to acquire new growth areas. So I see the great opportunities in Southeast Asia, and I expect the volume to at least maintain or even be higher compared to the last couple of years.
So that's a good segue into a question directly to you, Girish. I know you have a crystal ball in front of you. So what do you expect in 2020, this year, 2022 and 2023? I mean, there are a lot of talks about inflation, interest rate hikes, and variety of uncertainties, taking place. What do you expect to see in the 2022 and 2023?
FY22 and 23 are two interesting years, primarily because we are coming out of a long period where interest rates were close to zero in most parts of the developed world. Inflation was also almost non-existent. And certainly in the last few months, we've seen interest rates rise very rapidly inflation, of course, is a big problem all over the world. Southeast Asia has not been spared from those impacts. However, I think fundamentally the market continues to grow. The population is quite resilient, and the GDP per capita is a robust number as well. So while the interest in M&A would continue to be extremely strong, but businesses and buyers more particular need to be more cautious about the impacts of inflation and interest rate hikes on any businesses that they're looking to acquire.
A related question is, why should Korean companies look at companies in Southeast Asia as an investment destination, or countries where they need to go expand their businesses? Why should Korean companies look into that region?
I think Southeast Asia offers many unique capabilities to Korean companies. So firstly, of course, as I said, the population is growing, and consumption of that population has certainly grown in the last few years. Secondly, the businesses are themselves transforming. They are adopting better technology. There are better brands being built in Southeast Asia that could be of interest to Korean buyers. I think as that consumption pattern in Southeast Asia continues to increase, and the region is relatively stable as compared to other parts of the world, that creates a lot of interest for South Asian buyers.
Great. And Takang, a final question to you is, as you know, we have created a Korea, Singapore, Southeast Asia deal platform where this platform was created to support Korean companies and Southeast Asian companies to better execute transactions. Maybe you could share with our audience, how PwC can help. More specifically, how can we help our clients?
So on this front, one of the main purpose of our trip this time around is to formalize the formation of a Korea Southeast Asia,
which started July 1st.
Yes, which is investment team. We have local teams, that is our feature. Local teams in each of the countries, in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines. And our partners on the ground, who, other than the accounting and tax professionals, we understand the business nuances. How can we then provide additional advices to owners, to foreign investors into the region, and how can we help them integrate the business much easier as we help our clients look into expanding in the Southeast Asia region.
Great. I mean, that's a great conclusion to this interview. Gentlemen, it's always great to see you in person. And finally, we get to meet after many years of video conferences, but look forward to working together, but more importantly, servicing our client. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.